planet, watched the film, and accepted the information and opened their minds to some of these new possibilities. What are some very practical things about our planet, our world, and humanity that you could foresee changing for us?
Um, I think first of all, if you understand that you do not only eat for your physical body but also for the emotional body, you have a different approach to eating, and you can see it in many ways, perhaps like an addiction. Not making this bad because eating is a wonderful thing, but having a different approach to this calorie approach, because this is a quite destructive way of seeing food. Because if you have a bottle of Coca-Cola and I don't know, apples, they can have the same amounts of calories, but it's a completely different thing. So understanding this, I think, is quite important, and that it also can be good to do fasting and calorie. You see in my film, for example, this a long time experiment with monkeys, showing that uh, calorie restriction is like the best anti-aging uh, method that you can have. But in the end, this is just the surface. What I show in the end of my movie is this new worldview, where quantum physics helps us to understand, but also that mind uh, is an aspect in our Western world that is not taking seriously, but it's very, very important. And to understand that we are all connected. If you, Amit Goswami says this in the end of my film, if we understand that we are all connected, then suddenly uh, war and being greedy and just looking that you get everything, it doesn't make sense anymore, because you hurt the other person. And if you hurt your environment, you also hurt yourself. But probably you have to experience this, because if you have not an experience, you have to say my film is just wrong and this is all fake. And in my experience, for example, meditation helps a lot. That's my experience. I meditate now for 15 years, twice a day, and that's one of these benefits I have to feel this connection. Because if it's just uh, not more than a mindset, if it's just a film or if you read it in the books, it probably won't work. And people who never had an experience, they just say, okay, this is just esoteric crap. And so I think you have to be ready to see the film. But it can help for people, or probably for most people who already had experiences, but they have to hide them. They feel it somewhere, but they do not dare to admit it, or they think they are all wrong and this is all an illusion. So I think it's very important, not only my film, but that a lot of people share their experiences, and that other people say, okay, there is something to it. That's not just all illusion, and it's not just all fake. Of course, there is also fake, and of course there is, but it's not all of it. We have to understand there are authentic phenomena, uh, and there is mind matter interaction.
Once you have experienced it for yourself, your film gives us permission to have the courage to share with our friends and family. And
Yeah.
when we do take that courage to share with our friends and family, they can also tell that we're just speaking our truth. we're not trying to convince anybody of anything, but just, wow, I went away for meditation, many things about my being changed, and I had this amazing experience of the non-necessity of the food, and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And when you just speak very honestly and openly like this, I think that that's non-threatening, and our friends and family would accept that and know that it's not a bunch of BS. That is just
Yeah.
really our truthful experience. And I love that your film collected all these truthful experiences, so that for a controversial topic like this, it really did a phenomenal job making it as easy as possible for the audience to take it in, just like an honest account of some people's real life experiences.
And I think the reason was because it's like my own journey from skeptic, or from a person who had this mindset when I came out of school. You could that we all are these meat machines, and like in school we learn how it works, and I came from that direction, and suddenly I learned, wow, there is a lot more, and I think people feel that there is all this backstory in the film, and it also helps a lot that this is not just one guru saying something but you see it's all over the world are people living that way. That helps a lot, I think, and there's a lot of energy in the film. For example, there are a lot of people who told me, for example, after watching the film, they lost their hunger. And the funny thing is that in my film, you see this Bigu transmission
Mm-hmm.
by Tian Ying. And when I made, I met her first in 2008, and I also was there and got a Bigu transmission.
Mm-hmm.
And also did a lot of fasting in the last 20 years. But when I do fasting, I do not lose my hunger. It's very good. It's cleaning my body, and but after 1 week, I want to eat, and it's so good. And the funny thing is, when you get the Bigu transmission, when you are in the Bigu state, you do not want to eat. Like the stomach is up here, and you don't want to eat. And suddenly I understood what all these people told me,
Mm.
that they would start eating immediately if they would feel hunger.
Right.
But they don't feel hunger. And that's the Bigu state. It did not last for long. In my case, it was just 1.5 days.
Mm.
Then I went back to work, and all these old pattern like coffee and sugar and all these addictions I have came back. But for a short moment, I knew suddenly how it feels and what's the Bigu state.
Mm.
And it's completely different from fasting.